You're not normal. Here's the proof. You were never in the popular group, and to be honest, after a while you realized you never really wanted to be. You always tried to stay away from drama because you thought it was kind of dumb. It wasn't that you didn't get along with anyone necessarily, you just felt more at peace without all the gossip. You never did that great in school. It always bored you to no end. It didn't take long to realize that school was always kind of a pointless charade. You knew that most of the stuff you were learning you were never really going to use in real life. You knew that most of the teachers didn't really care either, which didn't help. The educational system was painfully outdated and never really had your interests in mind, and that was pretty obvious too. You always sought out genuine relationships. You always wanted a deep connection with someone. You never really liked the idea of a short-term relationship. You completely disassociate with the modern culture of being here for a fun time, not a long time. It's not that you look down on people who enjoy that lifestyle, it's just that it never really appealed to you. You've never liked the same kind of music as everyone else. You've tried listening to it, but you just didn't really like it. You recognize that college is also kind of silly. The idea of shelling out unreasonable amounts of cash just to land yourself a desk job seemed pretty absurd. Likewise, spending ridiculous amounts of money for a social scene also didn't seem like a very sensible move. And the thought of being in debt for a big chunk of your life just to have these things never sat well with you at all. On top of that, the whole fake it till you make it thing never really made sense to you. You never wanted to be fake for the sake of pleasing others. You knew that there wasn't much point to life if you weren't being genuine. You're usually quiet when you first meet people, but once you warm up to them, you genuinely enjoy being around them. You always wish you could skip the small talk and just have genuine conversations with people. The thought of parking yourself behind a desk for the rest of your life scares you to no end. You've always known that security does not mean happiness, and it never will. You will stop at nothing to make sure that you get to do what you really want to do for a living, because you know that if you spend your weeks being miserable just to enjoy the weekends, you're essentially wasting about 70% of your life. You've always preferred to be outside versus being inside. As a kid, you used to play outside on a regular basis. You play video games, but part of you kind of rejects them because you always preferred to just go out. You never really liked social media. Even though you're addicted to it now, you really wouldn't mind if it didn't exist, and part of you kind of wishes it didn't. Choosing between traveling and partying is really not a difficult choice for you at all. You've always known you wanted to travel, because you know that that's how you can live your life to the fullest. You've been stuck at home for too long now, and you know it. The comfort is starting to hurt. After all this time and struggle, you've come to truly realize that kindness is the key to being happier. You've realized that being kind is much more difficult than the alternative more often than not, and if you can do the more difficult task, then it makes you stronger. You realize that everyone is just trying their best and no one deserves to get hurt. You've always felt a burning feeling that you were meant for more. You've always had that one thing that you've always wanted to do, but you tend to tell yourself you couldn't. But every once in a while you would wonder, what if?
You see, you're not normal. Stop trying to be. Stop trying to fit in. You weren't meant to.
You were meant to be different. Normal people aren't meant to be great. Normal people usually aren't the ones who end up becoming great. So it's a good thing you're not normal.